Driven from their homes by armed invaders, a few hardy refugees faced the prospect of starting again. They would found a new village deep in the countryside. With a new settlement established, the first priority was locating a reliable food source. The simplest source was gathering from nature.
Poeta?
Yeah.
Yaro.
Pestes. Hereof.
Undergete.
With a healthy supply of food, the village could start to grow. To do so, it would need more hands to share the work.
Yaru. Huh? Meta. Yeah. Quetta. Cheerlass. Apple. Huh? Abendende. Gadriende. Quetta. Gonganda. Yes, Sammy Ende.
The new workforce could now turn to the growing village's needs. First, they would build a mill near their food source, so villagers could drop off gathered berries more easily.
Workende.
The wearer.
Apple.
Next, the growing village would need wood to build with.
Huh? Wudu. Yeah. Huende. Yaru.
Yes.
Yes.
The growing community now had a steady supply of lumber. To make wood collection easier,
Pestes.
villagers could erect a lumber camp near the forest.
Dawn.
Huende.
Thanks to the camp, villagers no longer needed to travel as far to drop off lumber. The village now required additional houses to support its growing population.
Yeah. Cheerlass. Workende. Cheerless yerwa. Workan. Workan. Here Werta.
With additional housing in place, even more villagers could join the workforce. But a populous village would soon exhaust the natural food sources. To grow, the community needed dedicated farms.
Workende. Aoth to Lenda. Workende. Here work. Cheerless Yerwa.
Woodsmen and farmers now kept the village well supplied.
Cheerlass.
Further growth required knowing the countryside and finding more resources. For that, communities employed scouts. Able to move quickly and see great distances, scouts were key to discovering new resources. The most important thing for a scout to locate was a ready source of gold.
Yes, sir. Gande. Ridende. Astirende. Yes, sir.
Huh?
Pore werda. Kutlich. Ridende. Astirende. Yeah. Ridende.
To prevent having to haul ore large distances, expanding communities would establish a mining camp near the source of gold.
Cheerless Yerwa. Yeah. Workam.
Ridra. Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Cheer, lass.
Ridra. Ridende.
A well-placed camp ensured efficient gold mining.
Cheerless Yerwa.
With a good supply of gold, the village was becoming a large town. The signpost of this growth would be the construction of a large landmark.
Cheerless Abidende. Workende.
With the landmark in place, The once sleepy village announced itself as a thriving feudal township. The townsfolk had been driven from their homes before, however. This time, they would defend themselves. The first step would be constructing a barracks for infantry. Once it had a barracks, the town could establish a standing force of soldiers. Simple infantrymen armed with spears were a common choice for these militias.
Feldman. Sure, lass. Your way on the Saminende. Your way. Sure, lass, Thorfende Heston.
Yes, sir. Garwigan assat, yes, sir. Garu Upa. Yes, sir.
Garwigan.
Yarwe.
Yeah?
Ferdinand. Garwigan. Yarwe.
Feldman.
The town now had a militia and could look to reclaim the lands lost to invasion. The invaders had blocked the road north with a stout palisade. Although spears were of little use against these walls, the militia could burn down the obstacle with torches.
Montesa, it is dead.
Yarwe. Garwigan. Yes, sir. Garu Upa.
With the road open, the militia could now reclaim their lands in the north.
Vogliende Hessa. It will redone. Huda.
First, the spearmen had to deal with a lone sentry.
Garwi mid-May. Cometh omne. Astirath. Equilum.
Forward de dende ut. Hartes je hände. Barenden ut. Donde thought. Gau.
Remet Garu.
Ritman.
Garwigan. Ritnu. Ritnu. Garwigan.
Erfurter. Here.
Hier sind die Schildhände.
Hartes je hände.
Hurra. Ferdinand.
Riedere Jaru.
Yarwe. Garwigan. Yarwe.
Ansagen.
Garu Upa. Garu Upa.
Hartes je hände.
Yarwe. Garwigan. Und Bundestrailum. Yes, sir. Garu. Varar. Garu.
Riedere Barenden.
Garwigan. Cometh omne. Hura! Garu! Varar! Tremet Garu!
Water! Here!
Agnoa! Tremet Garu!
Advancing aggressively, the militia eliminated the enemy sentry.
What has it shadow?
The invaders had a small cavalry camp guarding the road, but the militia was ready to attack.
Ichuela. Foliende Hesa. Huda.
Garwigan! Asset! Astira! Garwigan!
Forward here. Ichera. Ga. Ga.
On Mondestrel!
Ichuela Rida. Anzagan! Donde está? Ga. Ga.
Spears were highly effective against cavalry, allowing the militia to win the day. All that remained was to destroy the invaders' stables.
Yerwa! Garwigan!
Reader. Ichuela Rida.
Tremet Garu!
Reader. Yas. Dende.
The invaders' cavalry post was destroyed, but other enemy positions awaited further up the road. Hostile archers defended the next camp, which would put spearmen at a disadvantage.
Yeah, Ichera.
The township needed cavalry of its own to deal with this, and so would need to build stables. To deploy that cavalry quickly, the town needed to build their stables near the front lines.
Cheers. Your way on your Samiende. Cheers. Yeah. Ichuela.
Fortunately, friendly villagers came out of hiding and joined the effort.
Each you say, yes, sir.
Estes comende.
Ferdman! Garu Riknu! Forgat Viral! Garwi Eogate! Sherlas Hera! Undestrelum! Yerwa! Gar Ichwin! Forgat Viras! Tremet Garu!
Yarwa Yoan. It's timber fights.
Tremet Garu!
Yerth upper.
Very your words,
With stables in place, the town could field horsemen of its own.
Ayoret Yar.
Lista Veras!
Yeah. Yaru. Bayard man.
Wernia!
Cheerlas hair. Where can they on Eckerham? Sherla. Cometh on a Sherlas. On your work, huh?
Bayard May.
Sure cometh on a Cherlas. Yes, sir. West Ohana.
On your work. Yes, Yar.
Yes, sir. West.
On Muna. Ferrith Eowegan. Bayard May.
Icheum Gande!
Yarway. Yoala. Ishala. Eat your work up. That sole bayo tembra. Eat your worker.
Ich gehe je cellen.
Era je worta. Ik ga je sailing.
Din hästar.
And je worker.
Din hästar.
Cheerless hair. Here is day. That shule be o Timbran. Each willa, Hugh would do.
Shirless hair.
What survey faith? Each willa. What survey faith?
The town now had a rapid light cavalry, skilled at harassing slower targets, such as archers.
What's the fitty?
Yes, sir. West through Hala.
Städer faster nu. You sadly up.
Yeah, let's get up. God, we got.
Are you ready? Chiera.
Eoredas, Remengaru. Hura!
You need to do. Read up. Eoredas.
Eoredas, getaway!
The cavalry eliminated the enemy archers and moved on to destroying the archery range itself.
Each timber fails.
The invaders' archers and their camp were destroyed. A final enemy emplacement remained, one fortified with palisades and defended by spearmen. To deal with this target, the town would need longbowmen. First, they needed to build archery ranges in the area regained from the invaders.
What survey faith? Gone then they knew.
And up with that.
Once more, friendly villagers arrived to help.
Day on Akerham.
On Thunderstralum!
Cheers! Your way on your semi-ending.
Eras. Cometh on.
Cheerless! Your way on your semi-ending. Cheerless hair. Cheerless defending history.
Your way, Eowaller. Here is it.
Sure, lass. Your way on your semi-ending. And your work, eh? Cheerless hair. That shule be o Timbran. What's the fifty? Sure, lass. Your way on your semi-ending. Inshallah. Each timber of Theos.
Garu Upa. Yes, sir. Mid May.
For where on did that? Vettest Hlista.
With several archery ranges in place, the town could add longbowmen to its forces.
Each timber Theos. Vera you worta. Yeah, any of Charles? Yeah, it's a whale. Yes, sir. Ik will do it. Yes, sir. Understood. It's a worker.
Strail Boren Yaru.
Charles. Yeah, any of Charles? Gatriende Wudu. Yes, sir.
Bed.
Yes, sir. West Duhala.
Strail Boren Yaru. Flamboga Arod. Strela Fuse. Strail Boren Yaru. Beardeth May. Flamboga Arod.
Eoba Tessa. Farindinu.
Beodeth May.
Garwigan.
Cometh Omna. Garu. Ferra.
Yaru to work.
Strela Fuse. Beardeth May.
That's Shule Beotembrad.
Flamboga. Strail Boren Yaru.
A strong force of archers could eliminate enemy spearmen at a distance, so long as they took the proper position.
Strail Boran. Sithe. Yes.
Yeah, each a willa. Ga.
Strail Boran. Yeah. Foliende Hesum.
Hey, you're a reader.
Mid-man.
Abuga. Strail Boran. Dida hit. Gath. Strail Boran.
Garwigan Asaka.
Städ Eoridas. Yeah, Equilla. Je dikter du.
Askira. Garwigan.
Forward the here, each will read out. Then the ut. Hura. Farindinu. Hatas ye hender.
Abuga. Strail.
Poised on a cliff top, the longbowmen would be protected from an infantry charge.
Reader a yard.
Yerwat Garwigan. Mid-May. Yerwat.
Yes, sir.
The last of the invaders fell to the resurgent homegrown population. Now that their lands were free of enemies, the town could take the next step in its growth and become a powerful medieval city. Here, too, the erection of a great landmark would be the signpost of this growth.
Hestes Commende. And your worker.
Okay. It's Timbra Theos. Charlas Thorfende Hestam.
Steady fast nu! Jewa! Gauriga!
Where a few lowly refugees had founded a small village, now rose a mighty city. From there would grow an empire. Some events leave a deep mark on history, but none on the land. This is the site of the Battle of Hastings. After almost 1,000 years, no traces of the bloody conflict can be seen. But here, the fate of England turned. It's where a king was killed, and his victor claimed the throne. October 14th, 1066. We know what happened here on this day, thanks to this. The Bayeux Tapestry. A carefully preserved, illustrated record of events. It shows the main players. Harold, the newly crowned Anglo-Saxon King of England, and his challenger, William, Duke of Normandy. William claimed the previous king had promised him the crown. So, he assembled an army and prepared to sail to England to fight King Harold for the throne. But a storm thwarted his plans. Meanwhile, Harold discovered that a Viking invasion had landed in the north. Another threat to his crown. So he raced to fight them. In France, William waited for the right conditions to sail across the Channel to England. The weather cleared. he seized his chance. 250 miles north, Harold had defeated the Vikings. Now, hearing of William's arrival, his army sped south. At 9 o'clock in the morning, on this hill, William's Norman army were ready to do battle with Harold's Anglo-Saxon men. The stage was set, and up for grabs, England itself. On October 14th, 1066, William of Normandy stood ready for battle at the base of a hill. The high ground belonged to King Harold of England and his Anglo-Saxon army. Here, on this hilltop, the fate of England would be decided.
Je veuille vous obéir. Je suis votre servant.
William's Norman army made the first charge, launching a direct assault on the shield wall. Though William's army fought fiercely against the shield wall, it would not yield. As one man fell, another took his place. Overlapping shields in tight formation made for a near impenetrable barrier. Realizing his army could not break the shield wall, William called for a retreat. He aimed to lure the Anglo-Saxons into a false sense of victory, causing them to break formation. William's feigned retreat was working. The Anglo-Saxon army broke their shield wall formation, leaving gaps for William to make a move. With Harold's men no longer in shield wall formation, William could pick them off as they charged. The Anglo-Saxons had deployed rows of spearmen to push back the invaders. But William had an answer: his sharp-eyed archers. men-at-arms reinforced William's army. Anglo-Saxon archers joined the fray, and the Normans' deadly cavalry ready to charge. But first, William's forces had to eliminate the enemy spearmen, whose sturdy polearms could easily bring down a horse. With the threat of spearmen cleared from the field, William's cavalry was free to charge at the Anglo-Saxon archers. More Norman cavalrymen took to the field. The Anglo-Saxon army was in disarray. Their shield wall had been neutralized, and their numbers were dwindling. Now the only thing standing between William and victory was King Harold himself. The last of Harold's men encircled their king, prepared to lay down their lives to save his.
In avant! Odio! Cavalario odio! Obéis! En arrouet, baigne à quoi? Compagnie boule, t'avance, oui après! Compagnie citesse, votre commandement! Hâti! Chacune aime sa place! Générosité, évidemment! Adens par bataille! Elle commande corps!
The Anglo-Saxon King Harold had fallen. In the confusion, some loyal soldiers fought to the death, while others scattered in panic. Leaderless and defeated, the last of the Anglo-Saxon army fled for their lives. The Normans celebrated victory over the English king, but William's quest to rule England was just beginning. At Guédelon in France, to understand how castles were constructed, they're building one from scratch, using just the tools and materials of the medieval age. It's a 25-year project, the world's biggest archaeological experiment. The most important defensive feature of any castle was the wall surrounding it.
Castle walls had to be incredibly thick in order to resist attack and absorb the impact of projectiles fired from trebuchets.
The curtain wall was over 20 feet deep, interspersed with towers. In earlier Norman castles, they were square. But while on crusade, European knights saw that eastern towers were round. They realized that eliminating corners not only made them stronger, but also provided a better view of the surrounding landscape. Completing the walls will take some 30,000 tons of sandstone.
Transport costs in the Middle Ages were incredibly expensive. So having a good supply of local stone close to the castle was vital.
To extract it from the quarry, first a row of holes is hand-drilled.
Once all the holes are ready, I'm ready to put in the iron wedges, and I'm ready to split it open by hitting very hard on each wedge with a big sledgehammer.
The stone is split into usable blocks, then transported using horsepower and human effort. This treadwheel crane can lift up to half a ton.
The walls are built like sandwiches. On the outside, you have facing walls built from better quality stones. And the inside, the rubble cores, they're built with softer stones and other offcuts from the quarry. And they're built up in layers with a very thick, coarse mortar.
This ingenious method makes the walls better able to withstand hits from a trebuchet. Sandstone is too hard to be carved into intricate windows, vaults, and steps. Instead, softer, more expensive limestone is used. These sophisticated building techniques make castles the ultimate feats of medieval engineering. It's a testament to their construction that so many still stand today. At the Battle of Hastings, the death of one man changed the course of history. The Anglo-Saxon King Harold was killed here, on England's south coast. His army defeated by William of Normandy. Anglo-Saxon rule was over forever. At Westminster Abbey on Christmas Day 1066, William was crowned the first Norman King of England. Now he had to secure power across the country. He began by stamping his mark on the landscape, building cathedrals and castles at strategic locations. Nothing like them had been seen in England before. They reminded the Anglo-Saxon population exactly who was in charge. But not all were content with living under Norman rule. Anglo-Saxon revolts broke out across the country. King William acted quickly to crush these rebellions. But there was one region where dissent was spiraling out of control: the north of England. In 1069, a group of lords from Northumbria formed an alliance with Viking invaders. Together, they approached Norman-held York, a large city with an important cathedral, still protected by ancient Roman walls. But the walls couldn't save York. The city and the castle fell to the rebels. William's new kingdom was under threat. He had to get the city back under Norman control. William had no choice but to order his men north. But as the Norman forces set off on their long march towards York, how much resistance from the rebels would they encounter? William the Conqueror marched north, with his army of Normans determined to take back the rebel-held city of York. But in his path stood rebel towns that harbored William's northern enemies. He would take the towns back by force.
Je suis votre serveuse. Incontinent. Asseyez vos armes. Nous allons.
Very cool!
The Normans captured the town of Middlethorpe, establishing their presence in the north. With reinforcements to his armies soon arriving, William would need more resources to supply them.
Bene. Escoltez. Ite. Baraz.
Bene. Ite. Produite servientes. In avant, servientes.
Baraz. Ambulo. Gwed. Vostres cito. Ok. Baraz.
Ok.
Masono.
Comprendo.
Mandements.
Entendo. Quitamos.
Finit.
Orans. Escolto.
Laburo.
Si.
Masono.
Comprendo.
Edifico.
Entendo.
Edifico.
Escolto.
Finit.
Ah, finit.
Baked. Ah. vado. Ma sono. Spero. Me laburo.
The Norman army was now well supplied by a town, but it would take a sustained effort to keep the army at full strength.
Ascolti.
Another rebel town, Fulford, stood in defiance to William's rule.
Finit.
Lavoro.
Ascolto. Materia. Muovo.
Mandemans.
Che?
Edifico.
Spero. Ascolto. Lavoro. Quod?
Ascolti.
Ascolti.
Ma sono.
Comprendo.
Spero. Ubi vado.
Materia.
Finit.
Lavoro.
Faraz.
Intendo.
Ma sono.
Faked.
Paraz. Ascolto. Finit. Lavoro. Comprendo. Ascolti. Sì. Faked. Ma sono. Intendo. Sì, edifico.
Soyez expressed, compagnons. Allons! L'ennemi dans sa douane! Incontinent! Accessment box, nos allons! Siccom vos voldres!
With the Fulford rebels eliminated, William was one step closer to
Ascolte
York.
bene. Con me, con mi trenca.
Knowing he would face strong resistance in the city, William prepared
Sì,
to
bene.
bolster his
E ce li
cavalry.
mandamont. Quel d'abord? Sì, cavo.
Attendez les commandements.
Mandesque? Cosa sarà ma sonata? Ascolte bene. Comprendo. E ce li mandamont. Tuts odite. Tuts odite. Movamos, vale tuts. Vale excavo. Parade pour venir. Si sommes. Io ma sono la cose.
In ayuda!
The Norman army came under attack from a new enemy, the Danes.
Quella sì, comprendo. Sito. Chi t'aiuta?
William's army held back the Danes' attack, but they threatened to return unless William paid them in gold.
Parats pour laborar. Bene fait, la mia avec. Si, cavo.
With their stables in place, the Normans could add more cavalry to their army.
Voyez prest, compagnon. Acceptez vos always. Avant! Odite! In avanti! Obeio! Accespez vos, compagnon!
The Normans discovered the source of the Danes' threat, an outpost on the water. William had a choice: bypass the encampment, destroy it, or pay the Danes the gold they demanded.
Chevalier, responde! Restus Spetsvos, nous allons.
Zie, paraat.
Is tous express. Adjustments was always.
In destroying the Dane outpost, William stripped the rebels of a crucial ally.
Avertissez votre courage, compagnon. Avant, compagnon. Quand je commande, avant.
William's ultimate goal was within his grasp. All that remained was to enter York and destroy its keep.
Rovenskito. Comme Yitrenka. L'heure est de besoigner. Avant, compagnon.
Attention, quitte.
Soyez prest, ainsi comme vos voldres.
Redordir, Wedmandes. Pardon.
Qued, mais...
Cavalario parade.
Vado laburar.
Cavalario parade. Bene.
Parade pour venir. Cos'è sarà massonata?
Labur speranz. Io ma sono la cose. Vado laburar. Cose sarà massonata. Io ma sono la cose.
Quella bu?
Ci sono messi. Vado laburar. Cose sarà massonata. Vado laburar. Cose sarà massonata.
Labour Spérance.
Parade por venir. Io ma sono la cose.
Attendez les commandements.
Asseyez vos armes! Nous allons! Adjustments vos, compagnon.
the Norman army poured into York and began sacking the town as they bore down on the keep. The keep fell to the Norman army, and York was secured. The Northern Rebellion was over, and William the Conqueror was uncontested as King of England. One weapon more than any other dominated warfare in the Norman period: the crossbow. 14th century crossbows like this were the culmination of centuries of development. With limbs made of steel, they were incredibly powerful. But earlier Norman crossbows had limbs made of wood.
There was a limit to how powerful these wooden bows could be.
So the idea that Norman crossbows were a powerful weapon is really a myth. Despite this, they were effective at medium range, and that was enough in battle. Drawing the bow repeatedly took a lot of strength. Thankfully, help was at hand.
A crossbowman spanned his weapon with a device called a belt and claw.
This gave him extra leverage, allowing him to use his back and legs to draw the string.
Crossbowmen were vulnerable on a battlefield, so they carried large shields called pavises, so they could hunker down behind, load, pop up, shoot, and then duck back down again to reload.
Crossbows were accurate, took less training, and used cheaper ammunition than the longbow. Most importantly, you could wait to take your shot, so they were perfect for siege situations. To protect crossbowmen when they were defending castles, they used specially built wooden galleries, called hoardings. But shooting down towards an approaching enemy presented its own problems. How to stop the bolt from falling off the crossbow before it could be shot?
What they did is just place the thumb loosely on the top of the bolt, which is just enough with a light pressure to hold it in place.
Around 1200, the Norman wooden crossbow was superseded by a new design, the composite bow. With limbs made from horn and sinew, they could be made more compact than a wooden bow. And they could deliver up to 4 times the punch. They were, however, more expensive. So whether on the battlefield or the castle rampart, simple wooden crossbows remained the main weapon of the day.
Accespets vos, apertisets vostre courage, compagnon. Avant, compagnon.
Tuts odit, si comprendo, comme mi trenca.
Knowing he would face strong resistance in the city, William prepared to bolster his cavalry.
Parate por venir. Io ma sono la cose. Mande squad. Parats pour la bourra. Vado la bourra.
L'heure est... Je suis votre serveuse. Apertisets votre courage, compagnon. Si comme vos voldrez. Retrayez vos amours.
Quid me? Cos'è sarà massonata? Movo. Vale, scavo. Si sommes.
With their stables in place, the Normans could add more cavalry to their army.
Udite, servientes. Obeo.
Quid me?
The Norman army came under attack from a new enemy, the Danes. William's army held back the Danes' attack, but they threatened to return unless William paid them in gold. William paid off the Danes and was rid of their attacks. William's ultimate goal was within his grasp. All that remained was to enter York and destroy its keep.
Soyez prest, compagnons. Aces mes vos, nos allons! Certes. Donnez mon arway, mègne avec moi. Mon destrière y mègne. Pour votre service. Quid ordines? Bene. Je ride o vos volets. Incontinent. Fuer giride. Mon destrière y mègne. Je ride o vos volets.
The Normans discovered the source of the Danes' threat, an outpost on the water. William had a choice: bypass the encampment or destroy it.
Attendez les cavalario parat. Caballos, honor est d'obéir. Attention! Allons! L'ennemi nos agouets!
The Norman army poured into York and began sacking the town as they bore down on the keep.
Avertissez votre courage, compagnons! Je suis votre service! Restos prêts! On est ici à quai!
The keep fell to the Norman army, and York was secured. The Northern Rebellion was over, and William the Conqueror was uncontested as King of England.